From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, it is hot in the Pacific Northwest, and it will likely stay that way for a few days. The highest temperatures of the year so far will be experienced in much of Washington and Oregon in the first part of this week, with widespread highs in the 80s and 90s. Temperatures may approach 100 in parts of interior Oregon at its peak. It may be difficult for some individuals to adjust to this sudden crescendo of heat. Temperatures have been close to the historical average month by month in the Northwest for most of the spring. The sudden heat surge will bring temperatures 15 to 25 degrees above this historical average, with some daily record highs set. The biggest temperature jump occurred from Friday to Saturday, with highs trending up by 10 to 20 degrees. Some areas either peaked on Sunday or will peak on Monday, but the temperature difference between the 2 days will be just a few degrees. While the high temperature in Seattle fell just short of 90 on Sunday, it still set a daily record high of 89. Seattle will be within a few degrees of 90 again on Monday. The World Cup match between Belgium and Egypt at Seattle Stadium will be played during the hottest part of the afternoon on Monday. Fans and players are urged to stay properly hydrated. The combination of sunshine, temperature, humidity, and other factors could push AccuWeather real field temps to near 100 for a time. By Monday, some records dating back to the 1960s could be challenged. While the number of homes with air conditioning has surged in the Northwest in recent years due to major heat waves, the numbers still lag behind those of the U.S. comparatively, especially in Washington, according to the United States Energy Information Administration. In Washington, 53% of homes have either central air or window units, with 64% in the Seattle-Tacoma area. In Oregon, the number of air-conditioned homes is higher at 78%. Now, those without air conditioning or a pool to cool off should reduce rigorous physical activity during the afternoon when the sun is at its most intense. Be sure to take frequent water and cool-down breaks out of the sun. Waters in many streams and lakes across the region remain dangerously chilly, which could lead to muscle cramping and cold water shock. Never swim alone and avoid venturing into deep water. Heat is usually at the top of the list of deadly weather conditions on average, according to NOAA. More than 100 people die annually due to heat-related illness, outpacing flooding, tornadoes, hurricanes, hypothermia, and lightning. Temperatures are forecast to trend downward into Tuesday, with highs generally ranging from the mid-60s along the immediate coast of Washington and Oregon on Tuesday to near 90 east of the Cascades. Well, AccuWeather meteorologists are warning that after severe thunderstorms targeted parts of the east on Sunday, the storm-weary Midwest will face another threat of severe weather by the middle of this week. As storms approach and pass through major airport hubs, the risk of airline delays and cancellations will increase. Those traveling on the roads will also have to be prepared for delays, as thunderstorms could knock down trees and power lines. After a brief lull in activity through early week, the risk for severe thunderstorms will return to the Midwest by Wednesday. An area of low pressure and associated front will interact with a surge of moisture, setting the stage for severe weather. Many communities in the Midwest are still in the early stages of storm cleanup from this past week's thunderstorms, and the upcoming weather pattern will result in many of the same locations facing similar risks. Severe storms can occur from far eastern Nebraska and Kansas into much of Ohio, southern Michigan, and western West Virginia. AccuWeather meteorologists have highlighted much of Missouri, Illinois, and western Indiana with a moderate risk of severe weather, where storms can be most numerous. Hazards, including hail, damaging wind gusts, and isolated tornadoes, could occur in any storm that turns severe. Some of the major metro areas at risk include St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, and Kansas City. As the front moves east into the Ohio Valley and Northeast Thursday, thunderstorms may become strong and capable of producing damaging winds and flooding downpours from Kentucky to western New Hampshire. Individuals traveling along portions of Interstates 64, 80, 81, and 95 should prepare for potential delays and slowdowns due to severe thunderstorms. And turning our focus a little farther to the south, while the risk of tropical development in the Gulf is at the medium level through the middle of June, tropical moisture will still trigger locally excessive rainfall from Texas to Georgia through midweek. More than half a foot of rain could fall in the coming days as downpours tap into tropical moisture and repeatedly track over parts of the south. A stalled front along the Gulf Coast will contribute to slow-moving downpours and increase the risk of flash flooding. Pockets of heavy rain already triggered flash flooding across the Texas Hill Country and into Waco Sunday night. In Waco, a few reports of stranded motorists and vehicle evacuations were received, and at least one water rescue was reported. Heavy rain will spread eastward along the Gulf Coast and into the southeast through the middle of the week. The heaviest rain this week is expected just south and east of the Texas Hill Country. Still, even areas outside of that corridor of heaviest rainfall could receive 1 to 2 inches of rain, leading to some localized flash flooding. Motorists along stretches of Interstates 10, 20, 35, 55, 75, and 85 may face slower travel at times due to reduced visibility and standing water on the pavement. A cluster of showers and thunderstorms moved onshore along Mexico's east coast on Saturday. This cluster of disturbed weather can be traced in part to moisture associated with Christina, which reached tropical storm strength in the eastern Pacific Ocean south of Central America. AccuWeather's Alex De Silva said that there are indications that this feature could drift back out over the Gulf just off the Texas coast, or a second one may try to form over the Gulf along the stalled front during the early part of the week. Any organized storm along or near the front could further enhance rainfall, though for most areas of the south, the wet forecast and flash flood concerns remain the same regardless of tropical development. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay weather aware, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.